Hey everybody, it's your girl Falasha Day. And if you are tuning in on Instagram, you can also meet us over at unscripted.tv, link in the bio. But I'm here right now because we actually have some really cool things going on. This month is obviously Black Business Month, which we are so excited about because we have some big. Oh, look what I need to do. What do I need to do? I need to mute. I need to mute the. Look at me. Hold on. What's up, everybody? We had to run that back because we had some technical difficulties. No, but seriously, like one of the things that I love about going live is that it's real. Like you can't change what's happening. It's something that just happens. And that literally is something that I also love about documentaries because when you are capturing a documentary, you're literally just with your camera recording what's happening and then you go into the editing and you're able to turn it into what you need to. I bring that up to say that today we're actually having a really amazing filmmaker on who's going to talk about the documentary that he made out of my hometown, Richmond, Virginia, that is discussing this is black. Like, what is blackness to you? So that is probably like the biggest question that I want to ask him, like how this whole thing came about and what is blackness to him. But there's a few other questions that I want to tap in on too. So without further ado, I would like for you all to meet Ethan.
Hey, what's up? What's up?
How are you?
I'm good. I'm good. And you?
I'm great. I feel good. I wish I was outside so I could capture some of the amazingness of outdoors, but at least you catching it for me.
Right, right. Now I feel good out here too.
That's
Like
good.
75, 80 degrees.
Man, I feel like it's dark where I'm at, so lucky you, okay? Lucky you. But okay, so again, everybody, if you're over here, head on over to Unscripted and join us in the comments as we talk about This Is Black. Now, Ethan, I am so excited to talk to you because it's been a while. Like, I'm in DC. I know that you've been moving around, but like, just can you tell the people who you are and what you do?
All right. I'm a filmmaker. That's like one of the most difficult questions to answer, but not at the same time. But I'm a filmmaker, father of five, entrepreneur, and um, yeah, that's me in a nutshell. I don't do a lot of talking. Like I was just having this conversation. Like I'm a doer and less of a talker. I don't really like a lot of talking unless I'm intricate. But I'm working on that.
You know what's funny? The people in communications are oftentimes the ones that have the hardest time communicating because they found a way to express themselves through a different
Right,
medium. So therefore they're good at, like, you're probably really great at, obviously, being behind the camera or pulling out what somebody else is saying. So when it's time for you to express it without doing that, it makes it harder, because that used to be the thing for me. So I get it.
right, right.
Yeah.
But
All
like I
right.
said, I'm working on it. I'm getting in front of the camera more.
Okay. Well, I mean, you're doing it now. Look, this is forced. Okay. No, I'm just joking.
Right.
But shoot, father of five. Okay, so that actually brings me in to my next question, because as a father of five black kids, like, you made this documentary that is talking about This Is Black. And I
Mm-hmm.
don't know if it was an ode to anything or if there was any pieces around why you made it, but I would really love to actually hear that whole um, background for how you even made this documentary.
Yeah, nah. So one thing I've always been is proud of my skin, proud of my heritage. The funny thing is, I don't. I consider myself black. You know what I mean? But I don't consider myself black in the term that the white folk gave us. You know what I mean? Like it's all about it's all about who we are individually. But I never neglect or negate the things we've been through. I have a lot of people in my family that my father experienced segregation. My mother experienced segregation, and the people before them, they're still alive. They've told me the stories, and I've heard a lot of the things, and I've experienced a lot of things in my life too. But the way that This Is Black came about is it was right around the era of when people were trying to take down the statues and all that stuff in Richmond, and it was rioting, and there was a lot of stuff going on. Um, I was busy as hell. Like I was in my bag with creating, with filming, with running other businesses, tech companies, all kinds of stuff. And so I got to a point where I was fed up with all of these narrative pieces. These people trying to control the story of us. And it was a whole lot of slavery pushing. It was a whole lot of we should feel sorry. It was a whole lot of bullshit, for real, in my opinion. Everybody had the same story. Let's get angry. Let's go break shit. You know what I mean?
Hmm.
And the crazy thing is, I was having a conversation with one of my homeboys, and at that time, my mindset was negative too. Um, you don't know a lot about me, but I used to suffer from a lot of anger issues. So my mindset was, I'm finna go down here with all of these fake protesters. I'm finna start some shit with them because they ain't even doing it right. You know what I mean?
Right.
Like y'all ain't doing them but breaking and tearing stuff up, and that's not even us that was doing that. If you want to keep it real.
Hmm.
So my mind said, I'm finna go down there and wreck shop because these people are putting a bad name on who we are as a people, and I don't really fuck with that. You know what I mean? So,
Yeah.
and my own boy, he was like, nah, bro, because my mindset was extremely negative. I'm not even gonna cap on that. Like, but he was like, nah, bro, like you got to look at it in a different lens. You got to look at it through the fact that we have been through so much as a a unit, as a group, as a people, and we still overcome, and we still ride neck and neck with people that have had it easier.
Mm.
So you got to look at how strong we are as a people. And right after he says that, he's like, "Yo, I gotta go watch." B Love do this meditation session. You want to come with me? And B Love is the host of the documentary. He's the first interview. He's the dude doing the spoken word, all of that. One of my homies, like I love that boy to death. You know, youngin doing this thing. But I was like, yeah, because I was pissed off that it was a lot of life going on. So I'm like, shit, I need some meditation myself. And I go down there, and I was gonna film the meditation, but the energy took over me, and I was stuck, and I was watching it, and I don't know if people are familiar with Richmond, but he was in the middle of Broad Rock in the south side of Richmond, which is a very I hate using the word dangerous because everywhere can be dangerous at any point, but it's a very poverty-stricken area, and he had a bunch of beautiful black people meditating in the middle of the park at Broad Rock, and all around it was people selling drugs, people coming in out the corner store, people drinking on the corner, people doing drugs all around us, people watching, you know. But then you had this beautiful moment of people of us meditating and doing things that most people don't feel like we do, and it was probably a group of 20, 30 people, and inside of me, I go, see, all of this is black. You know what I mean? I was like, all of this is black. From us meditating right here, the girl over there doing crack on the corner, like all of this is black because we are human beings at the end of the day. But after the meditation session, I was like, yo, B Love, you want to do a documentary on what black really is? And he asked the question, well, what is black for real? And I was like, all of this shit, bro. Like, let's do a documentary on us as a people. Let's let people tell their stories naturally without a narrative, without us saying, all right, you got to talk on this point and you got to do this. Nah, tell us how you came up, tell us your black experience, and let's let people dissect it from there. So that's how the documentary came to be.
And you actually did that right that same day when you were, wait, the same
It was
day?
like a day later.
Oh,
It was literally like a day later. I asked B Love. I was like, "Yo, when you available?" He said, "I'm free tomorrow." I said, "All right, bet
wow.
you the first interview." And so I was like, "All right." He was like, "All right," and we did it that second day. And it's funny. One of the other people that we interviewed came from that same day, that day that I interviewed him, because if you see the trailer, it's two girls that are riding skateboards.
Hmm.
I was interviewing B Love in the middle of Clay and Jackson Ward, and he had some of the kids that he mentored from Gilbert Court
Hmm.
with him selling stuff outside. And I interviewed him during that process. And what ended up happening was two girls rolled past and they saw the cameras, they saw all of us out there, and they was like, "Yo, what y'all doing?" And we told them we're doing this documentary on the black experience essentially and what black really is. And the light skinned girl, she was like, "Shit, I want to be in it." And I was like, "Sure, yeah, like it's whatever. Like you black, like come on." So
Hmm.
we got a lot of people like that, just like people just want to naturally share their story and tell who they are as people.
Yeah. Nah, and that's one of the things that I was talking about with documentaries too, is the fact that it's unscripted. Like you don't write what you end up capturing. So like you're recording this content with Beloved and people are coming up and they're sharing, they're like, nah, I want to share what I got going on, and then more
Right.
just happens. Do you have any moments from when you were recording where something really unscripted happened that you was just like, wow, like this is why I'm doing this?
Yep. So in the credits, you'll see a name, Valentino. He was one of the young dudes that was out there. His story is amazing. I want to interview him, when we can find him again. But his family was ran out of Chicago due to the violence that was up there, and ended up moving. They ended up moving down here to Gilbert Court in Jackson Ward. And as I was filming, he's like, "Yo, I think I can do that." And I was like, "Well, shoot, take the camera. You know what I mean? I'll let you film a couple of B-roll scenes, this, that, and the third." And he's like, "All right." And I looked at his footage and I was like, "Yo, this shit is amazing. Like, you ain't never did this before?" He's like, "Nah, I ain't never did this before." And so I was like, "Well, shit, I'm gonna put you in the credits as B cam, camera B, and you'll have a film credit." And then he was like, "Well, you know what? I think this is what I want to do." So that was one of the moments I was like, "Oh yeah."
And is he still doing this now?
I don't know, but I know he's from the last I talked with B Love, he's not doing some of the other stuff he was doing. Like,
So shoot, that's something to celebrate. So that's what's up.
yeah,
Yeah. Okay. Well, I love that. Like, and I love, like I said, that things can turn into bigger things. When you do that interview with him, you gotta let us know like what he got going on, where he's at, if he's still creating content, because bring it to unscripted. But we really definitely love that. And then one of the other questions that I have is I brought it up on live today. I went on live on Instagram because I wanted to kind of get some insight from people. And when I first put up the question, this is black, or not this is black, when I first put up a question, what is black to you? And then told people that we were going to be airing This Is Black, some people were like coming at me, like
Mm,
family members, like were just like, and not
mm,
like coming at me at the sense of like, you rah, 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 but coming at me at the use of the terms because of what they believe or what they think. So,
right.
um, when it comes to black, the word black, they feel like it's not a word that actually unifies us, and
Hmm.
that there is a word that it's almost used as a way to brand us as like death. That's literally one of the words that someone said. Like it's a dead word, and when people see black or they see that around your name, they know to just kind of write you off. And I mean, if you
Right.
look through historical facts, I guess you can say that that might be what people have done, but like for them to say it and to feel that way, I was just so intrigued because this is also a word that a lot of people use for pride and for
Right.
strength, and to know like, look, I'm the first black to do this, or blase blah. So like I definitely wanted to hear your thought on the use of the term black, especially with naming this film This Is Black.
Right. And so to touch on that, what you just said, we named that on purpose because we wanted people to watch the film. We wanted people to feel what they felt and say, what is this shit about? Like, you know what I mean? And then realize that it ain't nothing about what the hell you thought. And that's on you. Like, you know what I mean? Um, but for me personally, like that term, it holds no weight. Black. Like, you know what I mean? To me, it's just a color. That's what black is. My mother, I also don't believe in not seeing color because you know what I mean. Like we live in a country that you're forced to see it.
Mm-hmm.
But I don't think that any word, one word, can unify us. We as a people will unify us, and that's all. That's the only thing that's going to unify us. We got to stop leaning on words to do things or outside sources to do things. It's just us as a people. Um, you give power to the words that you speak, and that's it. So if you feel like black is a death tone or whatever they said, then that's what it's
Yeah.
going to be for you. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like you said, some people see black as something to be proud of. That's what it's gonna be for them. Me, I choose not to live my life off of a word that I never created. You know what I mean? I don't know what this. My mom. So one thing my mother used to say all the time. I used to say, "Mom, I know I ain't speaking correct English," and she said, "Well, you ain't in England, and she ain't my queen." So
Wait. She said, hold on. Wait, what did your mama say?
you ain't in England, and she ain't my queen. Like the English that we speak comes from where? Like you
England,
know
right.
exactly. Okay, all right, that's not my queen.
Yeah.
So to give a word that does not come from the sources of where we come from power, it's all up to you at the end of the day. That's it. It's all up to you. You know, but that's the reason why we named the documentary This Is Black, because we touch on so many they touch on so many different subjects. All we did was set up a camera and let people talk. You know what I
Mm-hmm.
mean? And then we tied it in with poetry and spoken word. But I mean, it's so many things that's covered in the documentary, from colorism, from let's talk about that for a minute. The fact that the quickest way to divide a group of people is to turn them against each other.
Mm-hmm.
Um, you know what I mean? So we talk about colorism in there. We talk about not being black enough for your black friends because you light skinned, and not being white enough for your white friends because you black, quote unquote.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So it's a lot of things that people touch on, and this is just being a human being. Like we that's what we talk about in the documentary, and I want to say
Yeah.
we lightly because that's what they talk about in the documentary. We just asked them a couple of simple questions. What was your black experience? What was it?
Yeah.
What does that mean for you? And
Yeah.
then they rolled, and then we just picked a lot of the things that made sense and was coherent. You know?
Question, because that is what you asked other people, but you know, I'm curious. What was your black experience? We got a little bit of what your mom said, and we know that
Mhm.
you mentioned that you had some anger issues, but like no, like overall, like what's your gist? What was your black experience?
I've experienced racism, of course. I've been held at gunpoint from police officers, all kinds of stuff. But I also realized that a lot of that stuff was my choice. Like I was out here, I was out before I became an entrepreneur. I was in the streets. I was at a 15-year prison bid. Like it's a lot of stuff. I have a book out called Crossroads for my journey from what I was doing to becoming an entrepreneur. That's all the negative stuff. My black experience also was very very nostalgic. You know what I mean? It was also finding a group of people that I resonated with and becoming a family. Like it was everything because I'm in my skin. I'm in a country that they say, okay, you black, and we're gonna put all of these things on you, and now you got to live within these parameters. But what I realized is that my experience was, if I had to, for lack of better words, I would say me saying I'm not gonna live in your parameters. It was rebellion primarily, if that makes sense. Um, but overall, it was an experience that we all fucking humans. Like you know what I mean? It's hard to say what my black experience was. Just like you'll see in the documentary, people just talk about their life. It's my life. Like you know what I mean? Like it's my life. I don't get to say. I don't get to say. Oh, I'm not this color, which I'm brown. You know what I mean? I'm tan. I'm whatever. If you want to be literal, but when you put a label on somebody and say they are black, like that's just it. It's just a label. So quantifying my black experience is just saying this is my life. I had good moments. I done
Mhm.
seen death. I done seen life. I done seen poverty. I done seen money. I done seen like you know what I mean.
Yeah,
It's all of that. Like it's all of that. Now, have I experienced a lot more than other races that are in this country? Possibly. You know what I mean? Like possibly. I don't negate anybody's story. You know, there's white people, quote unquote, white people that have seen a ton of violence and grew up in poverty and all that kind of stuff too. But because of the systematic oppression, now that's real. You know what I mean? Because
mhm,
of the where they want to place us and where they want to put us, and um, like I've experienced a lot more violence. I've experienced a lot more. I don't know what the word is for it. You know, I'm losing my word here, but I've experienced a lot more violence. I've experienced a lot more poverty. I've experienced a lot more of that stuff. But that still didn't make me, less than.
yeah,
Like, so my black experience is just that it was my life. Like,
one million
like
percent.
if you ask most, you'll see it in the documentary. If you ask most people, some people look at it as, oh, this we were blessed with a little bit more. You know what I mean? Some people looked at it as, I was marginalized. I struggled more. Like, you know what I mean?
Hmm.
Um, but overall, the main thing is we all overcame. If we sitting here talking about it, we all overcame each and every day.
Have you watched this with your kids?
Yeah, my older kids.
And what do you think their take on was on it?
I know my oldest daughter. Her take on it was she kind of like, yeah, you know what I mean. That's about right. And
Yeah,
she's going through things as we speak, but um, she understood. Also try to teach my kids as far as outward. You can't control what people do outside of your circle. Like, you know what I mean? If they come at you with racism, if they come at you with some things that you don't like, you can't control it. You can control your actions and your attitude, and that's pretty much what you can control. You decide what your action and your attitude is going to be to that. But within our community, there are things we can control. So I teach my children not to look at other black people as less than because they may be darker or they may be lighter. So they're better. You know what I mean? I teach my children to just
yeah,
look at all of us as equals.
yeah,
You know what I mean? Like, excuse my French, but fuck them other people. Like, you know what I mean? Like, look at us as far as our community.
yeah.
Everybody is equal in our community. You know, your struggles may be different and how you came up may be different, but we are all equal within ourselves.
That
Because we have that melanin.
absolutely. You know that brings me to possibly close to my final questions. Um, what do you think we need to do to unify the community? Because you're using your skill to share um what everyone else's story is. But obviously, like if you're saying fuck them other people, then like, so what is it that we have to do in order to find that unity? Because like I said, I was
And so
attacked.
let me elaborate. When
Okay,
I say fuck them other people, I mean the people that are intentionally causing the oppression on us.
okay,
You see what I'm saying?
yeah,
Like, what we need to do as a people is stop feeding into the division. You know what I mean? Like, I correct when if you're around me, you'll see I correct my people on certain things. If I hear somebody around me say, "Oh, that's a light skin nigga thing," nah, bro, chill out with that. Don't do that around
yeah,
me.
yeah,
You know what I mean? Oh, that's a dark skin nigga thing. Nah, bro, don't do that. That's just his thing. You know what I'm saying?
right,
That's just what he do as a person. Like, you speaking that is causing division.
yeah,
You know, I had a conversation with my father recently. Like, he felt back in the 50s and 60s that because and people used to do this to him because he was lighter complected, his own people, because he was lighter complected, he had to fight more. He had to be tougher. You know what I'm saying? Like, nah, stop that, bro. Like, we all in this together.
yeah.
Come together. And if you don't come together, then move, like, kick rocks, bro. Like, you ain't a part of the community. Like, go with them.
That's
Go oppress
real.
with them.
No, okay. No, I think I agree. It's either you get in and you fit in, or you figure this thing out, or like if it ain't for you, then that's cool. Because
Yeah,
no matter
and it
what,
goes
you
deeper than
figure
that.
it out.
But
Yeah,
like, yeah,
yeah. So, oh, what? Um, sorry, it looked like it went offline, but hopefully she's able to get that back up. But with that being said, um, dang, you said something and I was responding to that. No, okay. So obviously we're about to get on and we're about to watch this documentary that we just talked up, and now we have a nice little background for it. But before we do all of that, I would love for you to just kind of update us. Like, what are you doing now? Because this, like you
right.
said, this was back when the riots. That was during COVID when that happened with the statues, right? Or that was right. Was it right
Right
before?
before,
It
right
was
before
right
leading into it,
before.
it was COVID was coming.
It was leading into it because when George Floyd, there was already a lot of tension. Like, yeah, that's
Mm-hmm.
right. I remember now because in Charlottesville, that was when the dude drove through and he killed. Oh man, it's bringing back so many memories. Okay, so that means that this has been a while, and like
Mm-hmm.
some things have changed, some things have gotten better during COVID. Obviously, people responded to do a lot more, but now some of those things are starting to come back. But I'm curious to know, like, what are you doing now? And if it still has a lot to do with the community, or if it has more so to do with your actual company.
Now it's a mixture of both. So me and Beloved are working on another documentary as we speak called "Our Babies Are Dying," and it's addressing the gun violence within the community. So this is the conversation piece specifically for us. Um, but the way we tell the story is going to be very similar through spoken word and sit down storytelling.
Spoken word and sit down
Yep.
storytelling. That's
So like when
different.
someone sits down, yeah. So spoken word, like you'll see this in the documentary, like the spoken word throughout the whole documentary of This Is Black, and then people are sitting down and telling their story. But the spoken word coincides with the stories that they tell. And so, and Our Babies Are Dying is pretty much the same thing. We're interviewing eight different people, four families who have lost people to gun violence, and four survivors of gun violence. And we wanted to be graphic. We wanted to be um, extremely heartfelt because we're trying to reach the people. We're trying to reach the person that got the gun in their hand. You know what I'm saying?
Mm.
We want them to know what you doing to people when you not when you acting off of emotion. Um, so it's a documentary that we hope to get to people that are about to pull the trigger. You know, not people who are out there fighting with it. You know, it's good for them. They can watch it and resonate it. Well, not resonate with it, but it's for the people that they in the trenches right now. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Nah,
Because
absolutely.
if you can get one to change their mind, you can get millions to change their mind over time.
That's real. That's it. I mean, shoot, what did Tupac say? I just want to spark that one brain, that one
Mm-hmm.
person that can do it. And I definitely see you being able to do that. I really love that you were able to meet B Love from a random experience of healing with your friend and being able to continue to like thread that out because that's something that I think is huge in our community that we need. And to hear it from a black man that's also working with another black man that's expressing himself and finding ways to build, that is what community is to me. And that's what I hope to continue to see. So I appreciate you for all that you're doing. You know that. Then we go back to
We do.
Brewers Cafe in Richmond, Virginia.
Right,
You know,
right.
so like it's always great to be able to touch back, but also to like see forward. So shout out to you. I'm really
I
excited.
appreciate you too. You know, you came a long way. I remember when this was a concept. So I'm proud of you. I'm proud of you. I remember when Unscripted was a concept. I'm proud of you.
Yeah. Nah, I appreciate that. And look, this year you're gonna see that we're taking even bigger steps. I'm actually really excited for the next phases that are coming up. So like I appreciate that too. But yeah, man, this is what I mean by touch back but look forward. And it's similar to what you're doing with This Is Black and being able to like share other people's thoughts and ideas and what they got and then still threading it through. Cause I even want to hear about the person from Chicago that ended up being Cameron B. You know, like
Right.
that's what I really think community is about is finding that and pulling it through so that we can grow and change and build. So I'm so excited. And I really appreciate you for being able to speak on here and soak in the sunlight from outside while I'm inside. But you know, like yeah, just can you tell people where to find you so that they can connect with you? Because this is it. After this, we about to air this movie.
So
We gonna get this going. Yeah.
I am most active on Instagram. So Ethan X Evans on Instagram. My website is in my link tree as well as other work that we've done. So that's the easiest way to get in touch or connect with me is on Instagram. Ethan X Evans. Yep. With an S at the end.
Oh man, I just looked at it and was like, no, the us is missing. I was trying to look. I was trying to be all cool with the little the animation and missing the whole S. Y'all heard him. Ethan X Evans with an S. Make sure that y'all go on to Instagram and follow him there. And you can also catch up with the documentary at let me see if this one will work. Hold on. I think this one's gonna work. Look at me. At here we go. This Is Black with 2 C's.
Right.
But that's definitely where you can learn more about the documentary and just keep up with what they got going on there. So I am going to run the trailer, and then after that, y'all will be able to just check out this amazing film. And I want y'all to be in the comments telling me what you think, how you feel, all of that, because we're going to be asking some questions. So thank you, Ethan. We will see you in the comments over on Unscripted. And thank y'all for watching. Let's get into it.
Being black is like, it's almost like you got a little more magic in your soul.
But to me, to be honest with you, being black is like revolutionary. It's eclectic, it's artistic. It's the ability to create yourself and express yourself in a certain way that people want to, then follow you. And just think about how many trends and how many modes we have broken with less than the other demographic.
The resilience that comes from it is just like, I feel like I can do anything. You know what I mean? So when the whole world is, or it feels like the whole world's against you, it's like, well, I'm just gonna go for it. I can do anything. It can be hard because I do have 3 black sons, and the way the world looks at them is very scary. So, like I said, it's an experience, good and bad.